I'm John McLeese, and this is Bold Radio. Sometimes in life, you just need some good advice. No one is an expert at everything. That's why we're proud to present the Bold Radio Expert Series, where we welcome a qualified and experienced individual to offer sound advice on an aspect of running a business. Our guest today is an expert that specializes in the field of economic development. Pleased to be joined by Greg Dandewich, Senior Vice President of Economic Development Winnipeg. EDW is the lead economic development agency for Winnipeg. EDW facilitates investment promotion and attraction, capacity building, tourism development, marketing and communications, and the management of the market data. Greg brings his expertise today on the subject of economic development agencies and their role in our community. As a resident of Winnipeg, Greg has seen businesses from many different sectors and sizes enter this market and find significant success. Each has impacted our community in different ways. Some of these businesses have become mainstays and a point of pride for our city. Greg, welcome. Good to have you.
Thanks, John. Happy to be here.
How does Economic Development Winnipeg influence the city's growth?
Well, an economic development agency's function is really to get a good understanding in terms of what acts as the underpinning of our economy. And from that perspective, what we do is we collect critical pieces of information and we develop partnerships and networks within the community so that we can identify where the next best opportunity for investment might take place. And that would be based on understanding what the key sectors are, understanding what's happening in the regional marketplace, the national marketplace, and international marketplace. So we act as this aggregator of expertise in the community that allows us to be able to mobilize certain efforts collectively so that we can position ourselves to go out and really sell the community.
What are some of the core competencies of economic development in Winnipeg? What are some of our strengths?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that exist within our organization that are really reflective in terms of what makes up our economy. So number one, the most important thing with an economic development agency is to ensure that we have good information. I mean, good information equates to good decision making. So that's number one. So we do strategic research. We're also the central repository for all economic information and data on the city of Winnipeg. Once again, this allows us to build out the foundation to understand, well, what really is happening in our economy so we can make those right decisions. We're also responsible for developing capacity. And really what that is that's not looking at individual companies, but looking at individual sectors. And we are a very diversified economy. We have about 9 different industry sectors. So what we try and do is work with the representatives in those sectors to understand where are those sectors going and where are some of the opportunities and some of the barriers that might exist. We also play a really important role in business retention, expansion, and attraction. And really that comes with our business sales team, which is Yes Winnipeg, which is under our auspices as Economic Development Winnipeg corporately. We also have a tourism function, which is branded as Tourism Winnipeg. And I think one of probably the most important roles that we play is we act as a broker. We really deal with various partners, be at the public level or at the private sector level, and we broker opportunities so that they're not missed, but we also identify barriers that we need to tear down to ensure those opportunities take place.
Greg Dandewich, Senior Vice President of Economic Development Winnipeg, is joining us here in our expert series. Let's talk about those sectors. What are some of the sectors that EDW is focusing their business recruitment efforts on these days?
Well, as you can imagine, we always tout ourselves as being very diversified, but you can't be everything to everybody. And I would say there's some real strong opportunities that exist in the area of advanced manufacturing, particularly in the area of advanced materials with the Composites Innovation Center. More and more activities being done with digital manufacturing, particularly with the Orthopedic Innovation Center, as well as looking at various verticals in the aerospace sector. Transportation, distribution, logistics, obviously with respects to Centerport and a lot of the opportunities that we have really built around how the city of Winnipeg has been established, transportation, distribution. And really what we're looking at is how do we fit into that 21st century global supply chain. So we're dealing with containerized movement of traffic, not only within North America, but in, through, around, and internationally. So, we have a diversified set of sectors, but at the same time, I think there are ones that are better positioned in terms of future investment.
So let's talk about future investment. Where do you guys see Economic Development Winnipeg particularly? What are you focused on in terms of the future? Like, what kind of do you see going forward for Winnipeg?
Right. I mean, number one, I think what's the most important thing is to recognize that your economy grows from within. And really, it's that 80-20 rule where you want to make sure that the companies that you have continue to expand their operations. That's critical because really that acts as your platform in order to attract new investment coming in. So in new investment attraction, we have been focusing on foreign direct investment, and we've partnered with the economic development agencies from the 12 largest metropolitan areas and incorporated ourselves over the last number of years called Consider Canada City Alliance. And what we're doing is we're targeting geographic locations, particularly in Europe and Asia. In fact, I just got back from Europe mission with the CCCA and really looking at connecting with companies that are looking to find a foray into the Canadian marketplace and ultimately the North American marketplace under NAFTA, which is a 500 million person market. The other thing that we're looking at is developing a bit of a regional approach. Trying to take a regional lens in terms of how can we remain competitive with our partners and Consider Canada, but also our competitors across Canada and particularly within the United States. And it's all about partnerships and collaboration. And we are well suited in terms of dealing with all the different partners. So we really want to build on that business retention, expansion, attraction, foreign direct investment.
Give us some examples. Our listeners, I'm sure, are very interested in some success stories that you've had. We don't have a lot of time, but just maybe one example.
Well, you know what, I would say that based on all the companies that we've been able to secure from Yes Winnipeg's efforts, I think are critically important, but I think it's really building out the capacity. Our organization established the Composites Innovation Center 10 years ago, and now it's actually acted as the foundation or the underpinning for us to compete more effectively in advanced materials and composites. And I think that those are some of the things that are really important as an organization. You see the wins in terms of companies coming in, which are critically important, but those are all built on a foundation of intelligence building and really collaborating with the various sectors in the marketplace.
The future looks bright for Winnipeg, and that's thanks to the work that's being done with Economic Development Winnipeg. Greg Dandewich, Senior Vice President, joined us. Greg, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Our expert series here on